Traditional custodians of the land which we gather today, and pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging, for they hold the memories, traditions, culture and hopes of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people across this great nation. I extend my respects to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here today and recognise their continuing connection to land, waters and community. I acknowledge their history of wisdom, resilience and survival, and respectfully thank them for their contribution to the life of the city and the region. So welcome to the Ordinary Council meeting of the 26th of July 2023. I declare this meeting open at 10:01 a.m. I'd like to advise meeting attendees that this meeting is being webcast and audio recorded. So can you please, gallery, please be upstanding, able to join me in a moment of contemplation. On Sunday, we marked 9 years until the South East Queensland welcomed the world for the Brisbane 2032 Olympic and Paralympic Games. The excitement and anticipation are palatable as we celebrate the achievements of our city's sporting heroes and the diversity that makes us unique and vibrant community. The City of Logan's rapid growth and central location place us in a crucial position for successful delivering the 2032 Games. The proposed multi-use indoor venue in Logan City and the emphasis of becoming a South East Queensland destination of choice highlight our determination to leave a lasting impact. The legacy of the Games is so much more than 4 weeks of competition. How we leverage this opportunity to bring forward the development of much needed infrastructure for our city, jobs and economic growth is fundamental to a long-lasting impact on our city. The week, months and years that follow 2032 and the opportunities we create to make Logan an even greater place to live, work and visit will be the true legacy of the 2032 Games. It is an exciting time to be in Logan. The countdown is officially on. Thank you. Councillors, we have no absence to record, so we'll leave that. Condolences. I now refer to condolences. Any councillors have a condolence to raise? I'll start at Councillor Bradley. Councillor Lane.
Thanks very much, Mr Mayor. Jean Pryor was an amazing woman, formidable, a bit of a curmudgeon at times, but she ran the Logan Area Committee of the Ageing for more than a decade, and her contribution to our community was immense. Lakota, as it's known, advises seniors in our community of how they can work with not-for-profits and government sector to actually produce better outcomes for their living and lifestyle. They put on activities, they run a housing co-op located in my division, and they're very active. So the loss of Jean has been a massive one for that committee. She was the president, and her vice president, Carol, the secretary, and Val Turner are all feeling her loss, but none more so than Jean's son, Sam Pryor, who also works at Lakota. He was with her in the final days, and I would like for our condolences to be forwarded to Lakota and to Sam Pryor, please, Mr Mayor. Thank you,
Councillor Lane, Councillor Russell, Councillor Crazy, Councillor Roven, Councillor Hall, Councillor Fraser, Councillor Wilcox.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I would like my condolences passed on to the family of Sophie Marie Pacey, or Nee Wymus. Sophie was a Flagstone resident who recently passed away in the terrible traffic accident that occurred on Middle Road in July. Sophie was a loving mother of 3 young children and a wife and a soulmate of Dale, daughter, sister, auntie, sister-in-law, niece and so much more to those around her in the Flagstone community. Sophie worked in the Woolworths DC, very close to home, and was on her way home when the tragedy happened. Thank you to emergency services who attended, and I again have gratitude and thanks to those assisted Please pass on my sincerest condolences to Sophie's family. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wilcott. Councillor Bush? No? Okay. Now we'll now observe a moment of reflection in honour of those who have gone before us and in support of those who have been left behind. Thank you, councillors. Seat. I'll now open the floor for congratulations. Do any councillors have a congratulations? Councillor Bradley.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I would like to offer my very proud and heartfelt congratulations to Mr Nigel Lau, who recently competed at the Voice China competitions in Brisbane. This is quite a special congratulations for a Logan resident whose career I've been able to follow and support as a councillor. Watching him sing as a primary school student at Springwood Road State School and now enter the national stage. Nigel's vocal journey began competing in 2012, singing My Heart Will Go On, and went on to win multiple competitions, including competing at the Goodna Jacaranda Festival in 2016. In 2017, he travelled to Beijing to compete and to showcase his talents at an international level. Nigel was a past recipient of Division 1 Community Benefit Fund, which allowed him singing lessons with Ophelia Gulson at her studio OVS, which he attests to being transformative to his earlier singing career. Here he said these lessons allowed him to refine his passion for music and helped realise the potential impact he could have through singing. Nigel embodied the positive impact in his school community, where he was one of the 2022 school captains at Rochdale State High School and also thrived as a part of many musical productions. He went on to perform as a featured vocalist at the Brisbane Convention Centre for Queensland Education's Creative Generation State Schools on stage over 3 consecutive years, where each year drew crowds of over 20,000 people. Growing up in Logan as a resident of Woodbridge, Nigel has said that our vibrant community is what has nurtured his desire to use his talents to make a difference and touch the lives of people from various backgrounds. It was also through the support of his family, his singing coach, and the community that believed and encouraged him every step of the way. Most recently, Nigel secured second place at the Voice China competition, which was a 2-month-long gathering of champions from across the nation. He has attributed his success to his family, friends and community to help him secure a popularity vote. Through Nigel's talent, definitely stands on his own merit. Nigel has said that the competition taught him the invaluable lessons about himself, his craft, and the power of passion and dedication, and hopes his journey inspires others to pursue their dreams relentlessly. The road ahead for Nigel is bright, as he is now in the process of auditioning for the next season of Australian Idol, while simultaneously pursuing a bachelor degree in business management and IT at the University of Queensland. Nigel's goal is to be an artist who can bridge gaps, break barriers and spread positivity through his music. Congratulations, Nigel. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Councillor Bradley. Councillor Lane.
Thanks very much, Mr Mayor, and I'd just like to thank Councillor Bradley for supporting local talent and local art. I think it's amazing, and obviously you saw something in this young man at the start, and it's coming to fruition, so thanks very much. Mr Mayor, the Logan and District Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Corporation for Elders held their NAIDOC Day celebrations, and what a celebration it was. It was absolutely fantastic.
Councillor Bradley, your microphone's on.
Absolutely fabulous at this year's Kingston Butter Factory. The theme this year was for our elders, and our elders kicked it out of the park, Mr Mayor. You were there, I was there, plenty of councillors were there, and I want to say how super proud I am of our First Peoples, how they work with not-for-profits and the government sector to produce the best ever NAIDOC Day event in Logan. The rain couldn't dampen people's spirits or the numbers. The volunteers on the stalls were up, and everyone reported having a great day with loads of healthy food, fun activities, traditional culture on display, dance, song and stories. So congratulations to our Logan elders.
Thank you, Councillor Lane. Councillor Russell. Councillor Kerensky.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I have two today. First of all, I'd like to ask that congratulations be forwarded to Dan Walker. Dan is the principal of Canterbury College, and Dan has been named one of Australia's most influential educators for 2023. This is a very prestigious award. 45 people were recognised across Australia, and Dan has only been relatively new to the school after a very successful period of time where we'd had the principal in that school for a large number of years. Dan is very much a living and breathing example of children being the future and investing in the future education of our citizens. So I think that this is a well-deserved award for Mr Walker, and I congratulate him on that. Secondly, today, I'd like that congratulations be forwarded to Dr Ravi and the team of the Yarrabilba Health City. We actually opened up their new facility last Friday, and my goodness, it is an impressive facility indeed. We have state-of-the-art medical facilities, which includes radiology, cardiology, a dental practice, and there's room for growth down there. Mr Mayor, I would just like to acknowledge Jason Sanderha and the Economic Development Team working in collaboration with Lend-Lease to help support this group to get them up and running. One of the things that really resonated with me on the day is that you've got a very elite group of specialists who've come into this region, and their genuine heartfelt desire is to provide the best medical care at an affordable price for the community. And, you know, their commitment to that was genuine, and I'm really excited about what they're going to do out there. So thank you very much, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Raven. Councillor Hall.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I would like to pass congratulations on to Gladys Manson on celebrating her 100th birthday on the 16th of July. Gladys was born in Glasgow, Scotland in 1923. She was born when King George V was ruling. She grew up in a small village just outside of Glasgow called Inverell on a small strawberry farm and chicken farm. It was very humble beginnings. Gladys actually worked on a factory assembly line during the war, the Second World War. Her passions include dancing, the waltz, listening to country and Scottish music, knitting, Sunday lunches with friends, cooking Scottish broth and the bagpipes. She is an avid soccer fan and often supported the Celtic Rangers. Gladys married Donald Manson, who passed in 2003, and they had two children, Donald and Jean. Gladys has always said that she would like to live until she was 100 so that she could receive a letter from the Queen, and she was very upset when the Queen passed, but was overjoyed to receive a letter from King Charles. Gladys still to this day loves to kick the soccer ball around with the grandchildren and throwing the ball, and sings long songs and walks in the garden. I was very thankful to be able to join Gladys at a 100th birthday party at St Jude's Bethania Garden Aged Care, and I was joined by Piper Joe McGee, who belt out some ballads in honour of Gladys' birthday. So happy birthday, Gladys.
Oh, that's lovely.
Well done, Councillor Hall. Councillor Fraser.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. So I'd like to congratulate the following members of the Centenary Plains BMX Club for their results at the recent Australian Cycling National Series, rounds 3 and 4 held at Macarthur BMX Club in New South Wales. Clint Schurz from Browns Plains came second in round 3 and 4 in the Cruiser 45 to 49 men's division. Clint will be heading to Glasgow in Scotland in August the 12th and 13th for the UCI World Championships, and I wish him all the best. Tyler Randall from Greenbank came 6th place in round 3 in the 15 years boys junior superclass men 13, and 2nd place in round 4 the 15-year boys junior superclass 8th race. Corbin Christensen from Park Ridge came 7th place in round 3 in the 15-year boys junior superclass men's 15th race, and he came 3rd place in round 4 of the 15-year-old boys 3rd junior superclass men's 13th race. Gary Christensen, so father and son activity, which is awesome, came 8th in the round 3 of the 50 to 54 year men's race, and 5th place in round 4 of the 50 to 54 men's 5th race. Tyler Guido from Jimboomba came 16th place in round 3 of the Cruiser 13 to 14 year old boys, and 28th place in the 13 year boys, and 15th place in round 4 of the Cruiser 13 to 14 year old boys. He also came 27th place in the 13 year boys race. I'd also like to congratulate Nate Argent from Parkinson. They're not Logan residents, but it's still members of my club. And Ashlyn Argent, also from Parkinson, and Savannah McCormick from Redbank Plains for their results in these rounds, and also to Ollie Rivers, who will be joining Clint in Glasgow. Well done all. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Fraser. Councillor Hiramayo, Councillor Bannon.
You know something special's coming, don't you? Thanks, Mr Mayor. I just want to give a shout out to the congratulations to Frank. We don't know Frank's last name. He doesn't tell anyone, and there's nothing dodgy in that. It's just the way we are in the bush. Frank's been with Jimboomba United Soccer Club for 22 years. He's coached teams, junior and senior, managed junior and senior. He then became the groundsman from mowing, whippersnipping, lawn marking, trimming trees with council approval. He did everything right, but he's finally retired. He's had enough. So I just want to congratulations to Frank, and I will hunt down his last name. I'll try. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bannon. Councillor Stent, Councillor Wilcox.
Thank you very much. I do have 2 this morning, so thank you. I'd like to congratulate the Logan Entertainment Centre. They've celebrated a 21st birthday this month, and there have been some amazing events that have been put on by the staff throughout the month, weeks and days. So, Mr Mayor, I know you couldn't make it on Saturday night, but I wanted to let you know Councillor Hall, Lane, Russell and Deputy Mayor Karansky and myself were there, and it was fantastic. It was awesome. I can't speak highly enough of Sisters Are Doing It For Themselves, the show that was on. The opening song, I was captivated. I was sitting next to Councillor Russell, and I think we both went, wow, the moment she opened her mouth and started singing. It was fantastic. Thank you to everyone who attended, walked the red carpet. There was lots of pink, glitter and sequins on the night. So it was stunning to see everyone. The photos were amazing that have been sent out. And a big thank you to the staff for the past 21 years who've worked there, the staff that were there that, you know, put it all together beforehand. It was fantastic. And thanks to Brad and his team, and please pass it on to the current team that are working there, because the events that have been on with Ignite and everything that's been on lately has just been amazing. So thank you very much. And you're right, you said something just before about the Olympics. Whilst we're at the moment celebrating 9 years till the South East region hosts the 2032 Olympics, the swimming is on again and making headlines, of course. And the Aussie women on, I think, the first medal night, they smashed the world record, claimed the 4x100 freestyle relay for the 3rd time in a row at the World Swimming Champs in Fukuoka in a time of 3 minutes 27.96, and I think they beat it by 2 seconds off the last ones. And again, of course, it had 2 Greenbank Golden Girls, being Molly and Shayna. So congratulations to Molly O'Callaghan and Shayna Jack, former Greenbank girls, Greenbank State School girls, Greenbank girls out of the pool and everything. So it's just wonderful to watch and such an inspiration for the whole of Logan kids in sport at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wilcox. Councillor Murphy.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I have 2 today. On Saturday, the 16th of July, the Beenleigh BMX community came out in force to launch this book, Transition 40 Years to Beenleigh BMX Park. The book is a tribute to the countless individuals who have played a part of the Beenleigh BMX Park and the BMX Club over the last 40 years. Their unwavering dedication and service keep this park alive, fostering talents and inspiring generations of Australian freestyle riders. The legacy of Doug Larson, the park's namesake, lives on through their efforts, and I'm certain that he would be immensely proud to witness the park's enduring impact on the community. As a Community First Council, we have been proud to support this project through the Regional Arts Development Fund. The fund is a testament to our commitment to nurturing the arts, the culture in regional Queensland, and we're thrilled to have contributed to such significant milestone for our BMX community. Ross himself has donated 9 copies of the book to our libraries here in Logan, to the 9 libraries, so that the BMX fans can access the book. Mr Mayor, I'd ask that congratulations be sent to Ross Lavender in recognition of the launch of this book, Transition 40 Years to Beenleigh BMX. And Mr Mayor, just on a side note of this, it's such a small world. In doing the research, I have found out that actually I lived as a small child on my farm back in the day, right next door to Doug Larson's sister, and we called her Auntie Hazel. So it's such a small world, and I have sent a copy of this book off to Auntie Hazel, who now resides in Hervey Bay, and she's absolutely thrilled about receiving this book. So, Mr Mayor, could you please pass on thanks to Ross Lavender?
Those congratulations will be sent. Also want to highlight, oh, you got one more?
One more, please.
Okay.
Sorry, Mr Mayor. Today I have immense pride and joy to extend the warmest congratulations to Soroptimist International Beenleigh on 35 years of wonderful giving back to our community. On the weekend I attended their 8th Stella Rickoff Awards and their 35th anniversary birthday celebrations. It's a great opportunity to hear from their members who have poured their heart and soul into championing causes for empowering women and girls, fostering social and economic change and making a significant impact to our society. Mr Mayor, could I ask please that congratulations please be sent to Soroptimist International Beenleigh. Thank you.
That will be done, Councillor Murphy. And just to highlight a couple of other congratulations, Colin Dempsey from Daisy Hill, one of my former residents when I was a councillor, turned 100. Good on him. I didn't think he had it in him, but he did. He got there. And I'll tell you what, I went around and visited him, and it looks like he'd go around another 10 years. Also want to highlight Logan Basketball won both their finals last week. This is an ongoing issue because they've got their quarterfinals this week. Just want to wish them luck. So far, so good. Also believe it's the Battle of Logan today. I believe Maple Park and Marsden are hitting it off tonight. Obviously, Councillor Russell and I will be supporting Maple Park because they're the underdog. But we'll see what happens. You never know what happens. But those congratulations will be sent. Okay, I now refer to the minutes of the previous Ordinary Council meeting. I move that minutes of the Ordinary Council meeting held on the 21st of June 2023 be confirmed. Is there a seconder for the motion? Councillor Hall, the second of the motion. Does anyone wish to speak to the motion? No. I now open the floor to vote. All those in favour, please raise your hands. That has not been carried unanimously. I have Councillor Bradley who did not. How do you vote, Councillor Bradley?
I'll just abstain because I wasn't here, thank you.
Sorry?
Abstain because
You
I was...
abstained from the minutes?
I wasn't here, yes.
Okay. Okay, we'll have that recorded. Thank you. Confirmation of the minutes of the special council meeting. Okay, I now refer to the minutes of the previous special council meeting, which is of course the budget. I move that the minutes of the special council meeting held on the 19th of June 2023 be confirmed. Is there a seconder for the motion? Councillor Murphy has seconded the motion. Does anyone wish to speak to the motion? No. I now put it to the floor to vote. All those in favour, please raise your hands. That has been carried unanimously, except for Councillor Bradley, who wasn't here. How do you
I'll abstain
vote?
because I wasn't here.
You abstain as well.
Thank you.
Okay, that will be recorded. I now refer to the declarations of conflicts of interest. I note Councillor Raven has declared a conflict of interest. Councillor Raven, would you like to speak to the conflict of interest?
Yes, please. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I've declared a prescribed conflict of interest proactively because we have a development application that has come into council called MCUI/25/2023. The reason I'm declaring a prescribed conflict of interest is because two of the board members of the applicant, which is the Australian International Islamic College, Abdul Quddus Azari and Muhammad Azari, are donors to my campaign for 2024, and both have exceeded the $2,000 threshold for a prescribed conflict of interest. Because it is a prescribed conflict of interest, I acknowledge that I cannot take part in any decisions, meetings or workshops or briefings in respect to this matter. I cannot seek to influence any other persons in this matter, and I will be excluded from the meeting while this matter is discussed. Noted that we're not discussing it today, but just wanted to get on the front foot in the interest of meeting my obligations and making sure we're doing everything transparently.
Thank you, Councillor Raven, for bringing that to our attention. Do any other councillors wish to declare any new conflicts of interest against any of the items on today's agenda, including any conflicts which have subsequently arisen from matters raised or discussed at committee? No, that being none, I now refer to the next item. Business arising from minutes. We have no business arising from the minutes to consider. We'll now go into the committee. I now refer to the City Planning, Economic Development and Environment Committee meeting held on the 18th of July 2023. Councillor Raven, Chairperson of City Planning, Economic Development and Environment Committee, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It was a fast game but a good game last Tuesday, Mr. Mayor. We discussed the Logan recycling market trading hours, and we're no longer going to have the recycling market open on Mondays because people weren't coming in. So instead, those staff can go and find the next piece of treasure that we've collected and make sure it's ready on Friday when we open back up. We discussed the Logan Riverine Discovery Centre. It's great to see support for the structural work to be completed, even though the cost of everything has gone up and it required us to commit an extra $1.5 million to that project. And of course, the facade improvement program Phase 2, which has been very popular, but we just want to understand how we could generate more interest from local businesses to get the outcomes that council is seeking with that incentive. I have no further comments, Mr. Mayor, and I open it to my colleagues.
Thank you, Councillor Raven. Do any other councillors wish to talk to any of those agenda items? No? Thank you. I hand it back to you, Councillor Raven.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that I find the right part of my agenda so I can read that for you. That the matters of the City Planning, Economic Development and Environment Committee meeting held on the 18th of July be confirmed, and that the recommendations of the City Planning, Economic Development and Environment Committee meeting held on the 18th of July be adopted.
Thank you, Councillor Raven. Councillor Raven has moved the motion. Do I have a seconder to the motion? Councillor Hall has seconded the motion. Anyone wish to speak to the motion? No? Okay, now I put it to the floor to vote. All those in favour, please raise your hands. That has been carried unanimously, therefore the motion has been carried. I now refer to the City Infrastructure Committee meeting held on the 18th of July 2023. Councillor Lane, Chairperson, City Infrastructure Committee, you may proceed.
Thanks very much, Mr. Mayor. We only had one item on the agenda, but it was a really exciting item. It was Logan Water's Net Zero Solution Projects. These are initiatives through the budget amendment process that will provide for an enhanced solar power generation, including battery storage at the Logan Home Wastewater Treatment Plant. It'll also provide for an additional large-scale solar battery facilities at the wastewater treatment plant, following consultation with relevant community stakeholders. And I note that Councillor Bannon asked that the Chamber's Flat Community Reference Group be included in those consultations. It's very important to residents surrounding those areas that they are included. The development of waste-to-energy facilities to convert food and green waste, a really important thing, and we're looking forward to that coming online in our city. There's a plan to convert regionally sourced biosolids to biochar at a commercial return to Logan Water and the council ratepayers, and the incorporation of Logan Water's central services. So they're actually going to pull everyone back into the wastewater treatment plant to save on money for ratepayers and to have the fleet all together to produce better outcomes. Now, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to thank Mike Basterfield and his team for their efforts in working towards this council's goal of minimising net emissions, producing outcomes that reduce the cost of services to ratepayers, and look forward to a greener future. It's amazing what can happen when a team pull together and actually create a system that reduces the impost to ratepayers. That's what we're all about. We're about providing services while reducing costs. So many thanks to that team, and I'll open the floor to others.
Thank you, Councillor Lane. Does any other councillors wish to discuss any of the agenda items? No, I'll hand it back to you, Councillor Lane.
Thank you very much, Mr Mayor. I now move that the minutes of the City Infrastructure Committee meeting held on the 18th of July 2023 be confirmed, and that the recommendations of the City Infrastructure Committee meeting held on 18 July 2023 be adopted.
Thank you, Councillor Lane. Councillor Lane has moved the motion. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Fraser has seconded the motion. Anyone wish to speak to the motion? No? Okay, we'll put it to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hands. That has been carried unanimously, therefore the motion has been carried. Do any councillors wish to record their name against any of those items? No? Councillors, I'll just go back to the previous committee with Councillor Raven. Does any councillors wish to record their name against any of those items as well? No? Okay, thank you. I now refer to the City Lifestyle Committee meeting held on the 19th of July 2023. Councillor Hall, Chairperson of the City Lifestyle Committee, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'll now speak to the recommendations. At the City Lifestyle Committee last week, councillors were provided with a report that shared the outcomes of the Logan City Council Arts, Culture and Heritage Strategy for 2018-2022. This strategy highlighted Council's commitment to arts, culture and heritage and defined 5 strategic outcomes, key aims and actions that guided service levels and event delivery. Furthermore, the strategy guided the provision and development of facilities that met and responded to community needs and aspirations for arts, culture and heritage in Logan. The conclusion of this strategy fulfills Council's commitment to the community to watch, enjoy and participate in creative activities with the aim of enhancing quality of life, creative industries and amenities in the City of Logan. In general business, councillors were delighted to receive a visit from Crankenstein, our mascot for Crank School Holiday Program. Crankenstein works hard out in the community to let everyone know about our wonderful school holiday activity programs. So everybody, keep your eyes out for Crankenstein next time you're out in the community and you're at a Crank event, as he may make an appearance, and he is a hero. If you've ever stood inside one of those suits, it is a task. So Crankenstein is definitely my hero here in sports.
Is that all, Councillor Hall?
That's it. That's
okay,
it.
thank you. Any other councillors wish to speak on any of those matters? No? I'll hand it back to you, Councillor Hall.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I now move that number 1, that the minutes of the City Lifestyle Committee meeting held on the 19th of July 2023 be confirmed, and 2, that the recommendations of the City Lifestyle Committee meeting held on the 19th of July 2023 be adopted.
Thank you, Councillor Hall. Councillor Hall has moved the motion. I have a seconder. Councillor Karansky has seconded the motion. Anyone wish to speak to the motion? No? I'll put the matter to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hands. That has been carried unanimously, therefore the motion has been carried. I now refer to the City Governance Committee meeting held on the 19th of July 2023. Councillor Murphy, Chairperson of City Governance Committee, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I note that Councillor Bradley and Councillor Karansky declared a conflict of interest in respect to 5.2 of the City Governance meeting, where they voluntarily left the meeting, including while the matter was discussed and voted on. Therefore, the item 5.2 will be separated from the bulk of the discussions today. I also note that 5.12 of the City Governance Committee meeting will be deferred for consideration at the Ordinary Council, and that item will be addressed later today's agenda and separate from the bulk of adoptions and recommendations. So accordingly, I please ask if Councillor Bradley and Councillor Karansky could please leave the meeting until the matter has been voted on. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. I will now speak to the recommendations of item 5.2, which was a public report on the Council Conduct and Investigation report. With the guidance of the organisation, the Mayor and the councillors had an open for and against debate in the matter and provided an open and transparent outcome. Shortly, I will move the recommendations of that meeting.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. Does any other councillors wish to speak? No. I'll hand it back to you, Councillor Murphy.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I now move the recommendations for item 5.2 of the City Governance Committee held on the 19th of July be adopted.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. Councillor Murphy has moved the motion. Do I have a seconder to the motion? Thank you, Councillor Fraser. Does any councillor wish to speak to the motion? No. I'll now put the matter to the floor to vote. All those in favour, please raise your hands. That has been carried unanimously. Therefore, the motion has been carried.
Just before the ladies come back in, can I just have it noted that I was for the original motion?
Thank you. That will be in the process, recorded. All votes are recorded. Okay, so someone ask Councillor Bradley and Karansky to come back in. Okay, I'll hand it back to you, Councillor Murphy.
Thank you, Mr Mayor, and thank you, ladies, for rejoining us. I will now speak to the rest of the recommendations. So we had a busy round, Mr Mayor. 13 reports were addressed at the Governance Committee, with 4 being confidential. But today I just wanted to speak of item 5.8, which is the Local Infrastructure Program, July 2023. The purpose of this program is to provide Council the ability to address divisional projects. This month we approved 31 projects across the 12 divisions of Logan. These included things like park upgrades, new solar panels, footpaths, a peace pole, bins for our park, development site plans and signage. Mr Mayor, all 12 councillors are working hard for their communities to deliver their needs, and I'm sure the community are thankful. So back to you.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. Do any other councillors wish to speak? No? Thank you, Councillor Murphy. And back to you.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I now move, number 1, that the minutes of the City Governance Committee meeting being held on the 19th of July be confirmed, and number 2, that the recommendations of the City Governance Committee held on the 19th of July, with the exception of 5.2 and 5.12, be adopted.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. Councillor Murphy has moved the motion. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Fraser, a seconder of the motion. Anyone wish to speak to the motion? Councillor Karansky.
Mr Mayor, could I just note that the motion does ask that 5.2 be that with the exception of 5.2 be adopted, but it doesn't note 5.12, I think Councillor Murphy said.
She's, sorry, Councillor Murphy did mention 5.12.
That's right, it's just not actually in the, it's just not actually in that recommendation.
Sorry, Mr Mayor,
So Councillor Murphy did say...
It is there now, it's there now.
With the exception of 5.2 and 5.12 be adopted.
Good pickup. Okay, so where were we? So you've removed, so we'll now put it to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hands. That has been carried unanimously, therefore it's been carried. Now we go back to, now we've got the council report. We have one council report to consider, item 5.12 of the City Governance Committee held on the 19th of July 2023 was deferred to Ordinary Council to allow for additional information be provided to councillors by the Chief Executive Officer. That additional information has now been provided by way of report, item number 12.1 in your agenda papers, and an attachment which was distributed separately to the agenda. We will now need to pass a motion to table the attachment of that report to the meeting. The motion is now displayed on the screen. As a procedural motion, I will move the motion. I now open the floor to vote. All those in favour, please raise your hands. That has been carried unanimously, therefore the motion has been carried. I now wish to bring it to your attention, if you may discuss it. If you need to discuss it, we'll bring an officer forward, otherwise we'll keep moving. Do any councillors wish to discuss that report? No? Okay. Okay, councillors, now the motion should be displayed up on the screen, the new motion. Okay, as you can see it. Yep. Okay, I will move the motion. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Raven has seconded the motion. Anyone wish to speak to the motion? No? I'll now put it to the floor to vote. All those in favour, please raise your hands. That has been carried unanimously, therefore the motion has been carried. Is there any councillor wish to record their name against any of the reports in the Governance report? No? Okay, I'll also go back to the City Lifestyle Committee report. Does any councillors wish to record their name against any of those reports? No. Okay, thank you, councillors. Councillors, we have no late reports to consider. Do any councillors have a petition to present? No? Okay. We have no notified motions to consider, so we'll now refer to general business. Today we'll be starting at Division 1. Councillor Bradley. So have you an item?
Wow, thank you. It is good to be back. I've been back a while now, but I want to pass on appreciation from the community to the CEO for the roads team who have fixed the embankment at John Paul Drive, which was heavily eroded from the previous floods a while ago now. And it took a while because obviously there was funding that needed to be allocated. So thank you, if that could be passed on.
Councillor Lane.
Thanks very much, Mr Mayor. I've got a few things today. The Crestmead Men's Shed, I want to thank them for making possum boxes and nesting boxes for my divisional parks. As part of the park upgrades, people are worried about native wildlife and the impact of these improvements on parks. So a big thanks to the Men's Shed out at Crestmead for doing that. Gunya Meta traineeship graduation evening was held last Friday, where students were able to showcase their experiences. Each student turned out in formal wear, and only Faith and the team from Gunya Meta certainly made their graduation special, as did Sam and the team from ADRA with the graduation of their hospitality and conservation students at a recent ceremony. There were a few students missing, and I'm happy to report that they were missing from their graduation, Mr Mayor, because they already had jobs. This is how good the training is. They already had jobs by the time they'd graduated, so that's magic. These trainees would not have had these opportunities without the Queensland Government Skilling Queenslanders for Work program, and I thank them for continuing it. Councillor Raven and I both attended the Plumbing and Pipes Trade Employees Union Apprenticeship Awards last Friday night, which showcased first and second and third year apprentices as well as businesses that support them from our community and from the wider area. The Brisbane Legends held a Masters tournament at Sky Badminton on Saturday. That's just down the road, with players from across Logan, Brisbane and the Gold Coast competing right here in Division 2. Lakota and Amputees and Family Support Group held separate Christmas in July activities, with everyone enjoying the outing and coming together to meet old friends and make new ones. A special mention to Springwood Road State School, Mr Mayor. It's not in my area, but certainly they put together a NAIDOC Day celebration which invited students from across Logan to come together and learn culture and celebrate all things First Peoples. The school pulled stall holders from around the city to provide activities and fun for the day. Two of the biggest hits were the Bunnings stall and Jim Chalmers Fairy Floss stall. With one staff member, she was flogged all day long, and honestly, she didn't have a toilet break and she was absolutely gutted by the end of the day. So congratulations to them for putting that on. In our Coolb community, Africare held a community conference in language about ageing and palliative services. The reason why I raise this is because so many of our groups are starting to have showcases that allow for the dissemination of information about government and support services. Such an important thing in our community as more services come online. Knowledge is power, and I thank the group like ours in Division 2 for being forward-thinking and proactive and putting these on. Lastly, to Council's event staff and KBF staff on the ground team. Their massive efforts on NAIDOC Day made the day absolutely magic. There was always someone there ready to respond to any emerging issues that happen. And I want to say thanks very much. It doesn't happen smoothly without our council team, and they're absolutely magic. So thanks very much to them. The reason why I highlighted all these, Mr Mayor, is again, Division 2 is the heart of Logan. Everything happens here, and I have to tell you what's going on.
Thank you, Councillor Lane. Councillor Russell, Councillor Karansky, Councillor Raven, Councillor Hall, Councillor Fraser, Councillor Hieremeyer, Councillor Bannon, Councillor Stemp, Councillor Wilcox.
Thank you. I actually didn't have anything, and Councillor Lane just jogged my memory, so thank you very much. I too recently attended a NAIDOC celebration at Everleigh, and it was fantastic. I wasn't able to attend the main one here in Logan because I was there for quite a few hours enjoying it. And it showcased some artwork from local residents who have their artwork held here at Logan City Council in the art gallery. It was Jessica Skeen and her family's artwork, and it was amazing, and there were so many people that attended, and it was lovely to be there, so thank you. And if you haven't been into the LEC, I'm going to give it one last plug. If you haven't been into the LEC lately, go and look at Jessica's artwork that's in the main foyer. She told this story the other day, and it was amazing to listen to. It's a representation of Logan and the 12 divisions, and none of us got it till she actually said it and explained what it was, and we were all just going, oh wow, and then we were all over there huddling, trying to work out where the divisions were, and of course mine was the biggest and the best represented on the paintings, so it was fantastic. And I also recently attended 2 fantastic park openings in Division 11, one in Central Park in Covella, which was amazing. It was awesome. I think Councillor Raven attended through the day as well, so that was fantastic to attend. And then just recently, this weekend, Latitude Park in Flagstone just opened, and it was in a ninja park, and it was awesome to have 2 ninja warriors there, and I got to meet them and that sort of thing. They were trying to coax me into doing it, but I did politely decline because I'm probably the most unco person out there and would have face planted, but it was wonderful to go to these park openings and so many events just recently, so thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wilcox. Councillor Murphy. Well, that concludes today's meeting at 10:47. Thank you very much.